Welcome back to Hawk Talk. Hopefully you enjoyed your holiday break. I know the three of us did. We had some time off, but not all DSU athletes had as long of a break as we did. Lots of competition going on. The women's basketball team made it out to California. Men's and women's played in Montana, and then they started up conference play again right at the start of the new year. The wrestling program was finally got things underway to start 2017, and you'll notice some subtle differences on Hawk Talk here as we transition Parker into more of the hosting role as I transition out of that role. But I want to take the opportunity to introduce our first guest because he is a former roommate of mine. We have Deshun Haynes, who's an assistant wrestling coach with the DSU wrestling program. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, no problem, guys. Glad to be here.
Now, Deshun, take us through what your time at Dickinson State was as a student athlete before we get into what your role has been with the wrestling program in an assistant capacity.
Gotcha. A lot of growing. Over the years, you learn new things, you pick up new things, and it's kind of ironic to say this, but the city grows on you, and you get warmer. Like it warms you up. It's very ironic to say that. But the people here are so nice, and you get to sit down and talk to some of the people, and just genuinely nice people that warms your heart. So,
now, when you first got here, you come from Houston, Texas. Is that correct? Texas? Mm-hmm. All right. So you talked about it warming up on you. But what was the transition like from a wrestling standpoint?
So, okay, as far as wrestling, it was the mindset of the transition. As a wrestler, my mindset is competition. I want to go out there and I want to try my best for my teammates and for the community, everybody that's looking after for me and looking out for me. As far as a coach, I want to do my best for my athletes and for them to see that there's a positive role model above them.
Right, and you touched on your teammates, and you've had a fairly successful team all across the board. What's it been like to be a part of that with some national champ qualifiers and all that?
Oh, it's been amazing. It's been quite the ride. I've got to wrestle alongside some truly, genuinely tough guys. These are some of the toughest guys in the nation that I've ever wrestled with, some of the best guys that I've able to coach and just be around with.
With the transition into the coaching position, where are you at kind of in your studies? Is that the main reason you're with the program finishing that degree up?
Yes, most likely. I have a business degree, but as far as coaching, I took a few coaching courses, and right now I'm kind of just putting my foot in the water. I really want to see what coaching is like, and I want to see if I do have a future in coaching.
Now, the kind of the incredible thing about your story, I think there's a lot of respect for what you were able to accomplish as a wrestler. We saw you in the heart of winter, walking over to the rec center to either get a workout in, to get work in itself. So you've really, I think, inspired more people than you know from a wrestling standpoint. And you talked about kind of feeling that reciprocation from the community. You feel like the community's embraced you as well. So how did you anticipate that when you got to Dickinson, when you took the leap to get here?
Actually, I didn't, and still to this day, there's people that I have no clue who their names are, but thank you guys, every one of you guys. They'll come up to me and they'll tell me, hey, how's this season going, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I didn't know you knew I was a coach. I didn't know you knew I was on the team. So there's definitely a lot of people in the community that's looking out for you. So you definitely have to be smart about your decisions and the way you carry yourself. So I definitely greatly appreciate everyone's support and wish you guys to keep supporting more.
Now, with the coaches you experienced two different head coaches in your time. Talk about their impact on the transition, and kind of is that one of the reasons you wanted to get into coaching yourself?
Yes. Wrestling taught me a lot just about growing up and just a lot about being a man. And I think these two different coaches has taught me a lot as well. You know, they're very both caring individuals as well as pushing, and they just want the best for you. And every step you go, they want the best for you every step. So I think that inspired me to push the younger guys to be better in every aspect.
Now, let's kind of take a look at prognosticating this year's team. You've got some new faces in the room as of the start of the semester, especially at weights you work with. Talk about the outlook for the team and what you think the team can accomplish.
The team is on the road to victory, and preseason we're ranked number 5, but that does no justice for where our team can actually do. As far as the young guys coming in, we have very, 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 very talented young guys coming in. These guys are gonna be the guys who are sticking with the program for a while and building up our program to that number 1 team in the nation. These guys have been working super, super, super hard over the years, and I'm very excited to see what the outcome of the season was. I think we're going to do some amazing things this season.
Yeah, like we noted, the wrestling team already hit the road a few times, heading down to South Dakota to take on Dakota Wesleyan and then Hastings, Nebraska. Obviously winning that duel in Sturgis against Wesleyan by a pretty good margin. What's the takeaway from those 2 events so far?
Okay, so I don't know if you guys heard that we won by 50-0, but just put that out there.
But what can we read into that?
I think right now that's the team mindset is we want to make a statement that we are the number 1 team in the nation, and I think we can do it. We all just believe in ourselves, and we're pushing every day, every week, every hour, every minute, and we're going to get there.
All right. Well, before we wrap things up, what's the next step for you after your time in Dickinson is done, or is that not going to happen since you've warmed up to us so much?
Well, first I have to finish school. That's number 1, and then I think after that, I think I'll stick around for a little bit. The economy here is probably one of the best in the nation.
Absolutely.
So I think it'll be a great decision on my behalf to stick around for a little bit.
All right, so you'll continue to see Deshun in the community. Make sure to check out the work he's doing with the wrestling program. The Tyler Plummer Classic is coming up in addition to 2 home duels.
Yes, in addition to 2 home duels. This week we're away for our duels, but that Tyler Plummer Classic, that weekend we have home duels.
That's the end of January. There's also home basketball, men's and women's, so make sure mark that on your calendar. Just block everything out, Blue Hawk Athletics. But Deshun, thanks for joining us.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
We'll be back here at Hawk Talk with a men's basketball player. Welcome back to Hawk Talk. This is the Blue Feather feature segment of the show, the Blue Feather Athletic Association, the DSU Heritage Foundation portion that allows us to have great student athletes like yourself. We're joined by a member of the men's basketball team. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Reggie Fields Jr., Inglewood, California, senior year here at Dickinson State, playing on the men's team.
Right. So obviously coming from California, quite a ways, quite a transition coming into this negative 15 weather. Tell us a little bit about your story coming here to Dickinson.
I don't know where to begin. Keep it short, JUCO transfer. Coach Wetzel came to my JUCO, one of my showcases, and we got in touch, came out on a visit, and I like the vibe, I like the family atmosphere. When I actually came, it was snow on the ground, but the weather was good. Like I had a shirt on, shorts. I'm like, oh, okay, it's not that bad. And last winter was decent. It wasn't too bad. This is, oh man, it's crazy. Negative 20, 50, negative 50 degrees with the wind chill. Wasn't prepared for this.
Yeah, like you said, you like the vibe, but since you've been here, how's the team environment been? How have you enjoyed that?
Oh man, this year is spectacular, man. I love my team. We get along on and off the court. everybody's bought in for the most part. We're gelling, and winning helps. So yeah, we're on the right track right now.
Yeah, I definitely seen the team enjoying it out there, having a good time. You took off the first semester, but you're back with the team this semester playing. How does it feel to be back on the court?
Man, senior years, I wish I could have played that first semester, but it feels so good to just suit up and be able to play, man. It's the best feeling ever, just knowing that this is my last go-round, so every second counts for me. So,
how exciting was it to see the team have such a successful start to the year, despite the fact that you weren't able to necessarily contribute in a game? What were your contributions to kind of getting everyone to jail? You were one of the few returning players, so what was your role in that first semester?
Basically just keeping dudes bought in. We're going to go through our adversities, our ups and downs, making sure the team knows that we're going to have our highs and lows, but just keeping them bought into what coach got and letting them know that he's going to put us in the right direction. And, they did it on the court themselves, so I just help them out a little bit here and there. Like, maybe you can swing the ball, take that shot, be aggressive. But them dudes did it on their own, man. It was great. It just feels good to come in and know that we're already successful, and then I could just add to that. So it's going good.
Yep, and like you said, winning makes it a lot funner out there and just more enjoyable.
Oh, yeah.
Ran through a little bit of a rough patch coming into this semester, but a couple non-conference games this week and then heading into conference play back at it. How are you feeling with the team?
We're doing good. These two non-conference games help us out a lot to just get our offensive fluidity back, get us our sharing the ball, assisting, get us going up and down the court. That'll be good, and then we'll be prepared for, presentation on Friday. So these are good little tune-up games.
Yeah, and we saw it against Trinity, starting out 4 for 4 from beyond the arc, quick, up 12-0 basically, quick. How does that feel? Just knowing everything's clicking.
I know it felt good. Everybody was clicking on all cylinders. Shots are going in, and that's what we needed coming off that tough weekend we just had. We just need to see the ball go in the hoop, and guys just need to get their confidence back and get back to playing Dickinson basketball.
With shots going in, you talked about from beyond the arc. That's not exactly your game. You kind of have the throwback. You bring what a lot of programs don't have, a lot of athletes don't have on the court, which is the mid-range jumper. So talk about how that kind of became your calling card in an era in basketball where that's really probably the most underutilized tool out there.
My mom and dad had me in the backyard a lot. I was always a slasher driver. And then my dad just told me, this is a lost art. If you could knock this down consistently, you'll be a key piece and be able to stretch the defense out. And I just kept perfecting it. I mean, it's something that just kind of comes second nature now. It's an easy shot. I don't know why a lot of people don't shoot it. But, three-pointer, I could say that's probably something I work on. It's not my strong point, but at mid-range is where it's at.
Definitely. You talked about your mom teaching you. She's got a little bit of basketball history herself, so just how much have your parents impacted in your ability to realize you could play college basketball?
Right. Both of them were collegiate athletes. My dad ran track in college, and Coach West always touches on it. My mom played basketball at USC, so her having that D1 background and just the knowledge. So my whole life I just had to just listen, and they instilled everything in me from offense to defense to mentality, focus. So, yeah, it was good having those parents.
How much did they help you in moving into the college athletics? Did they touch on anything with that with you?
Oh, man, they still do every day. My dad and my mom, every game, after the game, I get long texts telling me what I did wrong, what I need to do. They're constantly involved in what I need to do off the court, on the court. So I still get that constant guidance throughout the season.
If they're watching, that potentially means they're getting the opportunity to hear Parker and myself call the games. Remember, if your friends and family of Reggie who aren't able to make it to Dickinson, you can tune into DSUBlueHawks.com to catch all the games. But before we let you go, Reggie, you were a little bit critical of one of your teammates' performance on Hawk Talk earlier. So we're gonna defend Dante, who was the first men's basketball player to join us, and we're gonna stand up for him. We're gonna ask the question he struggled with, and everyone really struggles with: best dressed and worst dressed on the men's basketball team, Reggie.
All right, everybody avoids this question. I think I'm going to be the one that really address it. Best dress, I'll probably give it to, I want to say Micah Brown or David G. One of those three, I don't know. They're always pretty dressed up throughout school when we go out or whatever, hang out with our teammates. Worst dress?
It's not as easy. You got it.
Worst dress, I'm probably going to give it to, I'm going to give it to my boy. I love him to death. I'm going to give it to my boy, Brandon. Yeah, definitely. We got to get him at Mr. Big and Mr. Tall.
Maybe they don't have much of a selection there. Maybe
Yeah, you know, it's tough. If I was 6'11", man, if you don't have money, I know it's tough to get clothes, but we always crack on him in the locker room. He's like an easy target, but he knows.
Well, Brandon, hopefully he'll have the opportunity to come defend himself, throw some shade your direction. But another question we like to ask is, what's the thing you've learned most from your time here in Dickinson? Obviously, you've figured out how to literally survive in negative 15 degrees. That's part one. But what's something you're going to take away from here when the playing days are done and you look back on your time in Dickinson?
What can I take? Man, that's so much. As far as basketball, just everything that coach has done, just building my mental preparedness for games, building my leadership, making me a team leader. So, you know, being a leader when stuff is good and even when it's going bad, learning how to pick guys up and contribute. As far as school going, just being able to take myself out of a comfortable environment and still thrive through all adversity, no matter what gets thrown in your way. You know, coming from a big city to a small city, you know, being able to just stay focused and, you know, keep your eye on the prize, see the light at the end of the tunnel. So, I don't know, I just think that it was just a good fit overall. Small environment, keeps you geared towards your degree and focused on why you're here. So, besides the weather, man, overall, you know, I wouldn't change it.
All right, well, finally, a couple big homestands coming up, conference play, tied for first in the conference right now. Give the folks a reason to come out, enjoy the game as much as you do.
Just got to come watch, man. We're the only team in town, college-wise. You watch the girls, stay for the men's game. We're an exciting team. We share the ball. We get up and down. I don't see why not. There's nothing else to do at 7:30 at night out here. And you'll be warm inside the gym.
There you go. Well, thank you for joining us, Reggie.
Thank you, Reggie.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back after this with a quick wrap-up.
Life is full of many successes, achievements, stages. Every year we grow, things change, and pretty soon we realize we want and need to do more. When you're ready for that next step, Dickinson State University will get you there. Find out how at dsublue.com.
All right, welcome back to Hawk Talk. This time around, we're joined by a women's basketball player. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Taylor Henningsgard. I'm a senior here on the women's basketball team at Dickinson State.
Yep. And where are you from?
I'm from Buxton, North Dakota.
Yeah, a North Dakota native. There's quite a few on the team, from the area at least. You came into the school here at Dickinson State last year and right away had a successful season. How was it like to jump right into it and get to the national tournament?
It was exciting. It was fun. It's kind of a goal anytime you're on any team, whether it's a new team, an old team, or whatever. It's a goal to make the national tournament, and so that was really exciting. And I think we are looking to build on that this year. So,
how were you guys able to mesh? It seemed like the chemistry was there, at least from the public standpoint, as soon as you guys started playing. How were you guys able to mesh so quickly, and how has that kind of continued for the next year, since we didn't really lose too much in between the years?
I think the experience on the team kind of helps with meshing and chemistry, because, well, juniors and seniors, we're used to that, and we had a lot of JUCO transfers, so it's something that we were used to, and just the time that you put in the off season and just playing together, and eventually that comes, and I don't know, it clicked. So, and yeah.
I think Coach Grappe helps with the team building standpoint by taking trips like the one you guys took right before Christmas. Tell us a little bit about that trip and the other. Was it Florida last year?
Florida last
year. The other
year.
experiences you've had playing basketball here.
Yeah, team chemistry is big on any team that you're on. So those trips really help, and I don't know. It's just they help with bonding a lot, and you're there for basketball, but you're there relaxing as well. And Coach Grappe does a good job of letting us kind of relax and explore, because you don't really get to go to Florida or Cali very often. So he does a nice job of letting us enjoy the environment and make new memories. And the fact that we get to do that with the team is really good team bonding.
Yep. And like Nate touched on earlier, didn't lose a lot of pieces from last year. And we've had other student athletes from the team on the show, and they've noted that you're the old team on campus, being a lot of seniors and juniors. What's that been like in practice with all the experience?
Like I said earlier, experience is always a key, and it kind of gives you an up on other teams sometimes, or it should. I think we're a really smart team, and I think that helps us. Even with those few younger kids, I think we can help pull them along a little faster with all the experience on our team, and so they're just working on the little things too.
Now, last year it was a kind of big surprise for everyone not associated with the team to see such a big turnaround, but this year the expectation is kind of there in the public standpoint too.
Yeah.
So with the loss of Leslie early on in the season, everyone else kind of had to step up and fill the void of really not having that second go-to post. One of the things you've done is distribute the basketball incredibly well, second in the country in assists per games. So what's your mindset when you're out there with the basketball in your hands? Because at the same time you're also in double figures scoring yourself.
I don't know. As a point guard, growing up, I was always kind of a pass-first point guard, and I always wanted to get people involved. But when I'm out there, I just kind of take what the defense gives me. But I do see openings a lot, so oftentimes I still will pass first, even though I'm looking to score. But on the team we're on now, there's so many scorers, so it's almost fun for me to just distribute it wherever. Like we have three-point shooters, we have the post down low. Anybody can get on fire any game because we have those scorers, and so I think it's just fun. I just kind of go with the flow, take what the defense gives me, and be aggressive that way, I guess.
Now we've got one more conference game before a big-time showdown, back-to-back days, or back-to-back games, I should say, against Valley City. Means a lot in conference standings, but it's gotta mean quite a bit in your own personal family. Talk about the interesting dynamic that's going to be the Valley City games this year.
Yeah, so my sister plays at Valley City. This is her first year there. She's a junior. She transferred from Lake Region, where we previously played together. So it's our first time ever playing against each other. So it'll definitely be interesting. I'm not really sure what my family will do. My older sister did order some T-shirts.
I actually saw those.
Yeah.
They're pretty compelling.
It kind of mixes the Hawk and the Viking together. So that's what they'll be wearing. I don't know how they're going to cheer, but it'll be a different experience for me. But from the Blue Hawk standpoint, we're looking to get some W's.
Absolutely, that's what we like to hear. Now that kind of takes us into the rest of the conference season and really your last semester playing basketball here. So what's left on the table, and how do you think the team's going to achieve the goals that are still out there?
There's a lot of big games left. We're just kind of getting into the heart of conference season now, so every game is important, no matter if it's maybe a team we think we should beat handily or a team we should maybe lose to. You gotta come into every game thinking the same way, preparing the same way, just playing our basketball. So there's a lot at stake every game. Every game's important. No game is more important than the other. So we're getting to the end here, and kind of scary. But
We've had some exciting crowds at your games in the past, so I think the public's open and receptive to coming to your games. But just in case, give them an urging to come out and watch you guys these last couple times, and hopefully down the stretch with home playoff games.
Yeah, the fans they're big. Home court advantage is big, so we encourage everyone to come out and support us. and we appreciate everybody that comes. And a lot of times it gives us a lot of energy to feed off of, and that's really important. It's been the difference in some games here.
Absolutely.
So.
Alrighty, well, thank you for joining
you.
us. Good luck against your sister.
Thank you, Taylor.
Thank you.
Get a couple wins. That does it for this week's Hawk Talk. Be sure to check out dsuheritagefoundation.org. Fill out those student scholarship forms if you haven't yet. If you're a student, if you're not a student, tell someone to fill out those scholarship forms so they can get in on the action. And check out dsubluehawks.com for all things Blue Hawk athletics.